Please talk about Ayodhya. You see, these two religions, as best as we know, Christianity and Muslim, there is a belief that we only can give you salvation, Christian. We only can take you to heaven. And that means only faithful will go to heaven. And their heaven going is eternal. You will go to heaven for good. It seems they have a mandate from the Son of a God, who himself is questionable, that you convert everybody, I'll come again to save you. That is saving from original sin. Fact that you are born to a given parents, you are sinner, born sinner. That is what their thinking is. Therefore, they are converting. They are indoctrinated, those people. They keep converting people. By fair or foul means. They use certain deceit, and there are some evidences in India. The Muslims think in the same way that volume problem. That is the problem with this. It's not placed properly. You do tomorrow something. Yeah. They also think that only faithful to our religion will go to heaven. That is moksha, liberation. And they also believe there is some mandate that Quran is called Asmani Kitab. Asmani means a book that has come from heaven. And that book has mandated that non-faithfuls are kafir, called kafir. There are some surahs. And it seems those faithful have a license to kill kafir. Okay? It's some punya karma. Secondly, both these religions, Christianity and Islam, they have their individual God. But one thing common about them is their God is in heaven. That is Jannat, what they call it. And he is formless. That is common. Now, formless thing cannot have a cannot have a location for any formless. You cannot say air is here. It is everywhere. So their God is in heaven. And we have to go to heaven and present ourselves to God and prove that I have changed my faith and now I am your faithful servant. Since God is formless, you cannot worship Him in a form. So those who worship Him in a form are also branded as kafir. It is forbidden. In other words, Murti Puja, idol worship, brands you as kafir if you do. And then again, there is a mandate that you should break or whatever interpretation. I don't know, I'm not too sure about it. So, whenever they ruled, they broke down the places of worship, symbols of worship. When they worship in masjid, there is nothing. It is only a wall they face. And the wall is towards Makkah. You have to face Makkah. That's what their thinking is. Now, human mind cannot relate, cannot express without a form. Emotions needs form to express. And it's even a language is a form. Tone is a form. Body language is also a form, how I can communicate. There should not be anything wrong in expressing love through some form. Even praying Allahu Akbar is a form. Language is a form. That you need minarets is a form. That direction is also a form. Why should you face the direction which is towards Makkah? You have to, whole Vyavahara is in name and form. Nama Rupatmakam Jagat. You have to have. More so when it's emotional relationship. So they destroyed the places of worship, like in Jerusalem. The famous synagogue of Jews is still destroyed. There is a mosque there, in that place. There is one wall left, which they call it a Wailing Wall. They ruled over our country for 4 centuries and destroyed many temples. One of them was Rama temple, Ayodhya. Now, Hindu culture, Hindu religion cannot be there without Rama and Krishna. It is again because of Vedic vision of life and Vedic view of life. Our vision of life is that Purushartha, Chaturvida Purushartha, of them, main Purushartha is Dharma. We don't say Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Though it is that sequence only we live. First is Artha. Artha means security. From every baby seeks security. Even a youngster seeks security in terms of money. Then they will spend the money to enjoy whatever they want to enjoy. Seek security. But Dharma. So, and Dharma, as I said today morning, itself is not Purushartha, it is for Moksha. But Vyavahara requires Dharma. So much so it is said, Sharira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. This body is a sadhanam for Dharma, meant for Dharma. Marriage is also for Dharma. The way of life, Hindu way of life is ashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama, grahastha ashrama, vanaprastha and sannyas. So brahmacharya is also for dharma. The child is taught dharma only, what you should do and what you should not do. Grahastha is also dharmartha. Therefore, even today we use a word in all vernacular languages. All Indian languages say dharma patni. Nobody says professional patni. Though they may be same in the same profession. It is dharma. So, whole country, not now, those days, was committed to dharma, therefore it is called dharma kshetre Kurukshetra. In Dharmakshetra, nation, it was called Arya Vrata. Arya is the one who is committed to Dharma. He is not a caste. He is not a jati coming from north. So Dharma was part of our DNA, I would say that. And the ideal for us was Rama. As it is mentioned, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. If Dharma, which is formless, takes birth, form, it will be in the form of Rama. Like even if truth takes birth, it will be in the form of Harishchandra or Mahatma Gandhi, always held on to truth. So Rama was Adarsha Purusha, whole country. Was an ideal, role model. Ramayana was the text which was common to whole India. They read, that's what our culture was. Every evening after food, read Ramayana and Mahabharata. That was it. You will find in India, every village has a Rama temple. Especially in Gujarat, Choro, the center point, there will be Ramji Mandir, and outside the village there will be Shiv Mandir. It's a typical, in Karnataka also, same story. Hanuman, etc. In Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, everywhere, every village has a Rama Mandir. Now, to break the morale, to break the culture and our heritage, they broke this Ayodhya temple. There is some order of Babar Rama is one of his Senapati that do this, and they did it. And they built this mosque. Now it is mentioned in Quran, you should not worship at a place where which had another place of worship of another religion. If you worship, then your worship is not acceptable to Allah. But still they did it. Since we were ruled by Muslims and then Englishmen always kept people fighting. So there is a judgment also, English judgment, either side. So again the case was lodged, and you will be surprised to know this Mutawalli, their accounting, Muslim Mutawalli it is called, in which it is written that this is a place of Rama Mandir. And when the case was filed, some 14 Muslim leaders of Ayodhya had filed an affidavit, Muslim leaders, saying, give it back to Hindus, it is not ours. And for last 80 years we are not using it, it's a liability for us. It is there documented. But political parties being what they are, politicians always want an issue so that they can create sympathy and they can create a vote bank. Sit here. They can create a vote bank. The issue was dormant. But in 70s, 80s, they created a narrative for Muslims that Hindus are against you. This is a recent development after 80s. Till then, Hindus and Muslims always lived harmony. Nobody bothered. Even Hindus also didn't bother Ram Mandir, nor Muslim bothered about Babri Masjid. There is a history for 500 years. Different wars took place and sadhus were killed to save Ram Mandir. Naga Babas. Jainas have also participated in this. Kings have died just for this place, this point. When Vajpayee was Prime Minister, there was an effort to make out of court settlement. So Vajpayee ji talked to Kanchi Shankaracharya ji, then senior, Vijayendra Saraswati ji, Jayendra Saraswati ji. And he and Pujya Swamiji, our Swami Dayanji, had gone to meet them, their leaders. And Pujya Swamiji told, कि it is not a place. There is sentiment value involved in it. Like Gandhi Ashram, Ahmedabad, you cannot sell it. You cannot move from here to outside because it fetches 500 crores of rupees today. Let's build better ashram. You cannot. There is a place. So it's a sentimental value and you can have masjid somewhere else. But they didn't budget. On emotional ground, also they were not ready to listen. On religious ground also they were not ready to listen. I was fairly involved in that till the High Court judgment came. 30,000 documents were submitted by us claiming it. 3-bench judge gave a judgment, majority judgment, not unanimous, 2 against 1. And the one who gave a judgment was yo-yo judgment, saying, well, evidence shows that it was a Hindu place of worship, but there is no evidence that Babur broke it. How can you document 500 years back of an event? Babur broke it. There is circumstantial evidence. Babur issued a nama, order, but then whether order was implemented and the job was done, it is not provable. Like fishy. And that judge happened to be Muslim. He gave judgment on religious ground. And the challenge in High Court, it was in Hindus' favor, in Supreme Court. When the challenge in Supreme Court, they were playing a delayed game using the loopholes in the law. One of them was, they asked that give us translation in Urdu of all these 30,000 documents. Some of them were in British. Court wrote to central government then. Central government wrote to state government then. And state government was headed by Akhilesh Yadav, son of Mulayam Yadav. He just kept it pending. When Yogi was appointed, the first thing told to him to do was to translate this and submit it. When they submitted, then there was no way to argue it out. When nothing was there, they asked for archaeological proof, scientific proof, not religious documents. We want scientific. Some punya of Hindus, that technology, what it is called, like drone technology, they could send some camera underneath and see what it is. That is called some special technology. If you happen to know, they had done it for pyramids. The moment this was discovered, they had a lot of curiosity. What is there in pyramids? So they sent one radar, like cameras, and saw it inside. It gave her proof it is all Hindu. Still, physical excavation was demanded. We had one Professor Lal, President of Archaeological Society of India, ASI. He was such a great person that European Union Archaeological Society had honored him with a purse of 10,000 euros then for his contribution to archaeology. His only fault was he was a Hindu. Bikala. So we can't accept. Government then, Manmohan had to invite some French and Australian archaeologists. When the digging came, digging is also a technical job. You cannot have any worker who is digging my compound wall or temple foundation. Then they said, no, there are only Hindus. Muslims should be given job. We don't trust. Submitted to Supreme Court. Supreme Court sent a letter, there is no benefit of doubt should be left unaddressed. Government of India should provide Muslim workers. It took another 6 months to reply that there are no Muslim workers technically qualified to do this. Then they said, no, you should do videography of digging. So everything was videographed. Kept delaying. Finally, Chief Justice of India, Gogoi, headed by 5-judge bench, took it on a regular basis. And the judgment was obvious. It was written on the wall. It came in, and that too unanimously in favor of us. When that structure of a masjid was broken in 92-93, there was so much of noise in the country by them, so much of pressure by them, that a special bill was passed in Parliament. Actual land which is contentious is 3.67 acres, around 3 acres only. They passed a law that 70 acre of piece of land around that was taken over by central government. Though it is there, but it is a property of state. It's a concurrent constitution, like state territory. It became union territory, 70 acres. And for our goodwill, our punya, they wrote in that bill, whichever party wins the case will be given all the land. 70. That's how we got 70 acres. Actually was only 3 acre land. 2.67 or something. So less than 3. And now, with the response that public gave to this new fund, new trust in funding it, they have acquired almost more than 110 acres of land surrounding. It was a big thing, but fortunately, government is sensitive to cultural and religious issues, Yogiji being the head of the state. When they vacate it, they have to be given compensation and they have to be given alternative land to settle, which they like, they have to approve. It was a big exercise. Unless you take a personal interest, you cannot do it. But they did all this time and they are still doing. So, after 500 years, Hindus got back this Ram Mandir. Sense of pride for us. Because as I said, Rama is therefore an ideal for us. Because we are dharmarthi. Dharma is the main purusharth for us. Marriage is also for dharma, as I told you. You have to live a life of dharma. That is why Yudhishthira is respected, not Duryodhana. He is a dharma putra. And as I said, dharma doesn't mean belief. Dharma means duty, commitment to kartavya. He lived. They could destroy Rama's idol, but could not destroy Rama from the hearts of Hindus. which was there all this for death. Because I told you, Dharma is in our DNA. So Rama is in our DNA. So once they got back, there was so much of happiness. And fortunately or unfortunately for Hindus, both the events, when the judgment came, deliberately messages were given not to celebrate. There was no euphoria. It may cause tension, inter-religious conflicts and riots. So they all played down. I had met meeting with Muslim leaders also in playing down and convincing them it's a court judgment and blah blah blah. And when Bhumi Pujan was done, that time there was Corona. So Hindus never got a chance to express their feeling for Rama. So this time it was open. So much rush is now there. It's a beautiful vigraha. Two things, this concept that you are idol worshippers, Hindus are murti pujaka, that is wrong. I don't know why nobody told mullahs that so far. I have been telling this. We are not murti pujaka, we are Bhagavad pujakas. We are worshipping Bhagavan, but you need support. Like in each country has their national flag. And that citizen of the country will salute the flag. You cannot say them cloth pujakaha, vastra pujakaha. They are not worshipping the clothes. There is a word in English, transcending. The salute or the expression and hoisting the flag, it transcends the piece of cloth, emotions and song, etc. And it goes to all the martyrs who sacrificed for the country, all the heroes of the nation who built the nation. And it is a sense of national pride. That's it. But as I said, emotion requires support, form. It is like creepers. The creeper requires support to go. Emotion of love, hatred, anger, frustration, jealousy, compassion, all require a form. The tone is also a form. How you speak. Please come here. Yeah, come here. This one, to feed something. Lo, kha lo. Le, kha le. That's a different way. Expression. So, nobody salutes clothes, they salute national pride, national heroes. Similarly, we are not idol worshippers, we are God worshippers. And they didn't understand and kept breaking all the temples. Even now they claim so many temples. I don't know what kind of emotion to call this. Very perverted it looks to me. I may be wrong. But why should you, when it is of no interest to you, no emotions to you? Like, I mean, not perverted, I would say at least immature. A child, when he has toys, and suppose some neighbor's baby comes, or cousin comes and mommy says, give him that toy. No, I want to play now. Doesn't share. It is of no use to him, but I don't want you to be happy. That kind of feeling they have. And there is a lot of... So finally they made it. And since the people who were involved in the team were committed, so they have done a lot of homework in terms of structure of the temple. Because it is all sand over there. They wanted the temple to survive. So from foundation onwards, the top houses and the top research institutes were involved. Geological Institute of India, then IIT Roorkee, IIT Bombay, experts were involved to justify that, to find out what kind of foundation should be there, etc. And the Vigraha, that Murti, is something unique, especially for Indians from North India and Gujarat. All that. We are used to having Vigraha of marble Vigrahas, which is improper. If you see all the old temples, temple 200 plus year old, you will find only black granite idols. Tirupati, black. Dwarika, same. Here, our Dako Ranchodrai, same. You go to Meenakshi, same. Anywhere you go, it is black granite. Because chemically, marble is a very soft stone. It precipitates. So if you pour acid, precipitates. If there are certain colors, if it is there, then that tint will not go. Very chemically, very soft. Especially to alkaline. Anything alkaline, it destroys. Now when we do Pran Pratishtha, so there all Abhishekas have to be done. At least Panchamrutam minimum. And Panchamrutam involves dahi, curds, which is alkaline. See, if it is a marble Vigraha, and if you do daily from the top, maybe after a year you may lose eyes. Because the flow comes like that. So all these fellows who do marble Vigraha, they don't do much of that puja. Therefore you will find there will be only decorative pieces, which is not proper. You may decorate them through clothes and all, but it is that snana, abhishekadi is important, which they hardly do, just do some water and all that. And the worst thing is they paint the eyes, marble. But after 5-10 years it goes away. And you cannot repaint it on a Pran Pratisthita idol. But they do it. So I was, in our temple you will see all black granite Vigrahas. This is maybe the only one in Rajkot. And people ask me also, "Hey Swamiji, why Kale Patthar ki murti? Why black stone idol?" They don't even understand it's a granite. By the way, when I have met a Sthapati who has sent Vigrahas to 50% of temple in US. He is in Bangalore, Shankar Sthapati. He was telling there is a jati of the stone also. He has given me a book. I gave it to Dhanyaji because she is building the ashram. Tomorrow you can study that. There is a male stone and female stone. And there is a stone for Shiva, stone for Vishnu, stone for Ganpati, different kind. And these tapatis who make this, they do anusthanam. And then start chiseling. And after chiseling, they will do puja and do namaskar. The stone which they have chiseled. This Vigraha, when sent from Tamil Nadu, Puja Swamiji had fixed up somebody. They had done puja and it came with chandanam and kumkumam and flowers. Then it is God. The only disadvantage, so-called for modern people, disadvantage, that you don't get so much of expressive feeling in the Sri Vigraha when it is told. Unless the artisan is very natural or great. But this Rama Vigraha is something unique. That Sthapati has done It's a live Sri Vigraha. Very live. The project may take another 10 years minimum unless they go on a war footing like this, then also 3 to 4 years. The main temple is there, but with 125 acres, you have to have all infrastructure. And even today, 4 to 5 lakhs people coming, and they want to have Annakshetra there, free food. That is our culture. Temple, free food is available. The minimum 1 lakh people eating daily. They are expected, they want to have infrastructure to feed 1 lakh people daily. That was projected. I hope after seeing the rush, they will plan for 2 lakhs. Because number of people coming. And Hindus have so much of value for prasada. Even if they can afford in a hotel, but they will go there eat. Prasad to lena hai. Here we have one Jalaram Bapa. There is one Jalaram, most popular devata across the globe today. There is a free food is available. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. Simple but available. So if you go there, you go for darshanam, but you cannot and should not come out without taking prasad. That's Satyanarayan Katha, Sadhu Vaniyo, and Lilavati, Kalavati. So there is a feeling and people take. So minimum 2 lakhs. Then so many people coming, they have to provide for accommodation. Graded accommodation. VIP and VVIP. They need to provide for parking. Minimum 1,000 cars. Actually planned thinking is 5,000 car parking. And 500 buses parking. Roads, internal transport, it will be like whole Tirupati, Balaji complex. You have to do all that. So it will take a lot of time to complete the whole project, but done very well as of now. The temple and the Sri Vigraha, there was a lot of debate when the temple was built. Should we do as per modern technology or traditional? Traditional concept of temple building is you should not use any metal. It should be only stone structure. All traditional temples are nothing but stone. Now the problem in a stone structure is you don't get a span. Like our temple, there is a span of 45 feet, 50 feet long. You can't find a column of 55 feet long. And to hold it, it cannot be. So the generally span is 20 to 25 feet, maximum 30. And that also have to have a support, pillars. So the width inside, so that so many people can do darshanam at a time, is not as much as it could have been in new technology called RCC technology, reinforced cement concrete. In RCC, you can have a span of 100 feet also, without any column in between. But they went for tradition. So the rush becomes like even like our highways, 8-lane highway, suddenly only 2 lanes are working. So when they come to temple, there is going to be rush. That is what is happening more so now. They have to regulate the traffic, and devotees want prasadam from temple also. It's a big industry. But it's a first thing in the world. That way our dharma and our culture is reflected. See, India had, even after independence, worse times, but we never had a revolt in the army. We never went for dictatorship. Similarly, though injustice was done, India didn't become aggressive to kill them and take possession. We got it legally. That way, international image is very good. You might have noticed, none of the Muslim nation has raised voice against us. They are very powerful, riches, Dubai and whole UAE, very rich guys, Bahrain and all that. Nobody said anything. But it is legitimately done. So we waited 500 years for getting justice. And Jews still have no justice, though such a powerful country. They still have that wailing wall. Jews go to that wall and wail. They chant their Torah, but in a very melancholic way, because it's an expression of pain. We say. It's going to be a big challenge because you see, people compare India and America and all that, but America is a new country, born 500 years ago. It's a planned country. These cities are thousands and thousands years old. Because there is a reference of Ayodhya in Ramayana. By the way, Ayodhya was capital of Raja Harishchandra. There is Harish Ghat, in Kashi Vishwanath. Harishchandra Ghat, there is a mention that king. He was a Purvaja of Rama, some 20 generations ahead. And it is mentioned in Ramayana itself, Ayodhya was the capital of Manu, Raja Manu. Since then it was coming down. So cities are old. Before 200 years, 5,000 years, just 200-300 years ago, people never envisioned that there will be so much of traffic and technology. They never thought these big roads are required. Even after planning, you go to New York and certain parts of New Jersey, traffic is a problem because it's growing phenomenally. So our cities are very congested, roads are narrow, parking is not there, all the issues are there. That's why it is going to be a big challenge. Because you may improve the infrastructure of that 100-acre you have, but what about the other infrastructure? Approach and all that. It's a challenge. But I think as long as Modi and Yogi are there, they will take care of it. This I'll answer tomorrow, it is there. It is I'm going to talk about. Okay. Shubharatri. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. See you at 9 a.m.